I want to close. There's so much more. I have so much more to teach on this topic. But I want to close. And I want to close with this. And the Lord revealed, the Lord revealed to me before I decided to preach on it. And this is what the Lord revealed to me. And I think if you fully understand what I'm about to say, you will understand how easy it is to be filled with the Holy Spirit. Because to me, this is like one of the key of receiving the Holy Spirit. And I'm going to close with this. The Holy Spirit, there are some things that we need to know about the Holy Spirit. And God gave us three things that He revealed to us of who the Holy Spirit is. Why? How? I don't know. I guess this is how God is all-knowing. He's omniscient. Right? One, the Holy Spirit is fire. And understand, the Holy Spirit is fire. And I'll just give you the verse. You can look it up. Write them down because it's very important. Acts chapter 2, verse 3, and Matthew 3, verse 11 and 12. So Matthew 11, verse 11, John says, and when he come, he will baptize you with the Holy Spirit and with fire. In Acts chapter 2, and it says, the Spirit of God fell, and they had tongues like cloven fire. Okay, and the other verse, it says, do not quench the Spirit. You don't quench water, you quench fire. Okay? So there are a lot of verses that connects us with the Holy Spirit is like fire. Secondly, the Holy Spirit is like air. The Holy Spirit. And if you look it up, when you look it up, you will find that there are 4 verses for each one, and I'm going to tell you about the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is like air. And Acts chapter 2 says, and when the day of Pentecost fully came, the Spirit of God descended like a rushing mighty wind. Okay? The Holy Spirit is like air, mighty wind. And then Jesus, when he was talking to Nicodemus, he said, well, when the Spirit blow it where it listed, and no man knows where that Spirit or the Spirit come from, because he likened them to air. Okay? So fire, air or wind, right? Air or wind. And thirdly, the Holy Spirit is like water. Water. Or as you read Hosea, liquid. Right? Why? You will say, because he says, in the last days, I will pour my Spirit upon all flesh. What do you pour? Water or liquid, right? So I will pour my Spirit upon all flesh. So you have that in John chapter 7, verse 37 and 38. It says, for out of your belly shall flow rivers of living waters. The Spirit of God springs out of your belly like rivers of living water. Okay? And John 4:14 also refer to the Holy Spirit like water. So now watch very carefully. What do these things have in common? What do these things have in common? Anybody want to guess? They're elements. Not necessarily the 4 elements, but they're elements that we are familiar with but not necessarily can analyze. And that's the word I wanted to get. Elements that we are familiar with, but we cannot necessarily, and yes, scientists could tell you what water is made of, H2, and they'll give you all the scientific term, right? But you can't necessarily analyze it. Water, fire, air, or wind, they're elements, right? Secondly, they all have the ability to baptize or submerge. They all, right? When water comes into a presence, it's just come and just rush into that person, and it will fill up that empty space. If you have no air or no wind in that place, if there's no air here, all of us would have been dead by now. But when the air comes in, just give it a crack. Just give it a little hole, and it will find its way and force its way. That's how air works. Water, the same thing. If you have water in a container, put a little hole in it, and you see all the water coming out, it gushing out. Fire is the same thing. When fire is on a loose, it just want to take over. And these are the things that God revealed to us about His Spirit. But here is the key. Here is the key. The key is that they spread. They spread. Fire spreads. Air spreads. Water spreads. The Holy Spirit, receiving the Holy Spirit, if we could understand this concept of receiving the Holy Spirit and who the Holy Spirit is, you will be baptized in the Holy Spirit just like that.